All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Excuse me, Wednesday, October 26, 2022. Have a lot to talk about tonight. Had a big trade in the NFL earlier today. Got the World Series coming up on Friday. Full slate of NBA games going on tonight. So quite a bit going on in the sports world. Joining me, like always, the Judge, Jonathan Mathis. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Chris? What's going on, man? How you doing tonight? How you feeling on this Wednesday? Happy Wednesday to you. As you can see, my graphic tee today, it is Wednesday Addams from the Addams family. It was perfect to put this shirt on a day like this. It is Wednesday. So, to celebrate that we finally reached the middle of the week, this was the perfect shirt to rock today. How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. It's cold out here where I'm at, but other than that, not too bad. Just got done watching my Pacers get beat, but we're young. They set a stat during the game that we were playing the Bulls, and 55% of the Bulls points get scored by players 28 or older. 77% of the Pacers points get scored by players 23 and under.
Right.
So we're a real young team, but we can score the ball. Halliburton is averaging like 24 points a game. Our rookie is averaging Mathurin. He's rookie of the year candidate right through these first 4 games, is killing it. Between them two, you're getting about 50 points a night. So we're scoring the ball. We're just terrible on defense. Bulls had 70 points in the first half on us tonight. And it's hard to win games. I don't care if you score 125, if the other team's scoring 130. You know what I mean? You got to play some defense. We played better defense in the second half, got back in the game, got within like 8 points, but then end up losing by like 10 or 11, I think, something like that. But they play hard. So I guess that's all you can ask with a young team.
I mean, yeah. They're going to have growing pains. They're a young team. They're still learning. They're still learning the ropes. They're still making that transition to the NBA. Some of them are first year, second year players. So you gotta give them time to grow. You gotta give them time to develop. And don't worry, the Pacers are nothing like the Lakers. They're gonna work with their young pieces that they have. They're gonna stay optimistic about the whole youth movement, and hopefully better days ahead for your Pacers. But it looks to me like they have a promising future with the young nucleus that they have there in Indiana.
Oh yeah, I think the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I think we'll be pretty good if we can keep most of this group together. I think they're going in the right direction. I believe. Like I said, we got a lot of offense. Now we just have to fix our defense, get better on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll be a team to contend with.
Yeah, you have to bring that defensive tenacity night in and night out. And if they can figure that out, and if they can tighten things up defensively, then watch out. They can be effective on both ends of the floor. That's very, very important and critical if you want to win NBA games. So I completely agree with you.
The Lakers are hanging in there with Denver.
They're hanging in there, but we'll see. We'll see if they can finish strong. What are they in the fourth quarter now? I know that's silly for me to ask when the game is on behind me.
I think there's just a couple minutes before the fourth quarter. It's getting close.
Okay, so the fourth quarter is going to matter for the Lakers. The Lakers.
No, wait. It's only in the second quarter. It's going to be halftime.
Oh yeah, it is the second quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so it all depends on how the Lakers come out in the second half. If they make the adjustments necessary, hopefully they come out in the second half stronger, and hopefully they can put together a strong second half. It's gonna determine, you know, how they play. Things will be determined by how they play in the second half, particularly the third and fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, you gotta watch how the Lakers perform in the fourth quarter, because a lot of times, man, the Lakers struggle to close out, the fourth quarter for whatever reason, and a lot of it has to do with uh, ill-advised jumpers. This is a team that um, still likes to jack up a lot of shots, even though they can't knock those shots down. They have a lot of confidence in themselves. They have a lot of confidence in themselves if they're going to continue to jack up shots like that, and know damn well they're not going to make them. You got to put the ball in the hole, and that's something that the Lakers are not doing. And then it doesn't help that you don't contribute on the defensive side of the floor either. So the Lakers have a lot of things to work on. It's going to be a work in progress for this team. And like I said the other day, this Laker team, to me, the season is over before it has even started. Um, I really don't know what else to say about this Laker team, um, other than the fact that it is utter chaos, that they look unorganized, that they have a bunch of stars, but then they can't put it together and they can't win games. And we'll see what happens in the second half, but I just don't see it.
You see how Frankie feels right now about the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? It's been a rough start to the season. Yes, yes, Frankie is absolutely on point. Lakers struggled in every quarter, and I mean, I don't know if there. Jared said, "Is there faith in this Laker team?" I don't know if you can have faith in this team. I really can't give you an answer. I mean, I know the season is still young. I know it's still early, but who are the Lakers? Who are the Lakers 3 games into the season? I mean, I hate to sound harsh. They're crappy. You know, the Lakers have clearly become a national punchline. This is a bad team, most tellingly. I mean, you can't overstate the obvious. This Laker team is horrendous. They're pretty stinky. They smell pretty bad right now. They gotta do better keeping up with their hygiene. I'm not sure they can do that moving forward. I mean, I'm just telling it like it is. To be clear, this season again is over before it even started, and the path to an NBA championship for this Laker team seems out of reach. They got dogged by their little brothers the other night, the Clippers. They were daunted by the continuing shooting woes. The Lakers are bracing themselves for another down year.
They're tied at halftime.
Oh, good.
Dustin says Darvin Ham is going to be a good head coach, but was the wrong man for the job.
Mm. He took on.
Frankie said LeBron and Pat Bev was already going back and forth.
See, and that's the thing right there. There's no unity. Everyone wants to point fingers, and there's more than enough blame to go around for this atrocity that the Lakers, have experienced thus far this season. And it's going to be another long year of misery and letdown. It's going to be another it's going to be another letdown. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Let's talk about baseball to get started off tonight.
Yeah, we could switch gears. Most definitely, because the Lakers talking about the Lakers make me so depressed.
Dustin says Mark Jackson needed to get the Lakers job.
I agree, and I wrote an article about that. Remember, I think Chris, you might have read that article. that I said it was crucial for the Lakers to hire someone like Mark Jackson. But here's the problem. Before we move on, real quick, I want to explain why the Lakers didn't hire Mark Jackson. Dustin, hear me loud and clear. The reason the Lakers didn't hire Mark Jackson is simply because he's not going to put up with nonsense, okay? He's not going to come in there and, people in the front office is not going to tell him how to coach his basketball team. That's why he was run out of Golden State, because, he wasn't seeing eye to eye with the people in the front office. He wasn't getting along with the people in the front office because, quite frankly, he wanted to do it his way, but he's a guy with charisma. He's a guy who, understands the game of basketball. I buy into his philosophy. I think he can be a great mentor to the young players and the veteran players on the team. And, I think he would have been an ideal fit for the Lakers, but obviously the Lakers didn't want to go in that direction. So they chose Darvin Ham over him. Now, this is no disrespect to Darvin Ham. I just think Darvin Ham has, walked into a dumpster fire, and now it's all on him to try to turn it around. And then what? What happens if he doesn't turn it around? Then what? Then what? Do you fire him too? And then you finally look to move on and once again ride this chaotic coaching carousel just to look for another damn coach? You've already hired and fired enough damn coaches, and it hasn't worked out year after year. And part of that is because of Jeannie Buss's questionable business acumen. She has no business, overseeing this franchise. And Rob Pelinka, I hate to say this, but he's a puppet on strings. I don't think he, has much of an input. I don't think he, is making the personnel decisions like people say he is. I think he has some input. I think he has some say on what goes on, but he definitely doesn't have the final word within the organization. I think he's just a guy who is just there. But, we talked about this a long time, that he definitely doesn't have the experience of a general manager. And the only reason he even got the job is because of the relationship he had with Kobe Bryant, and obviously Jeannie Buss, the relationship that he has with Jeannie Buss. And that's why he's in that position. But he is definitely not qualified for the job. And this Lakers team, I'm going to say this before we move on, Chris. I'm going to say this. The Lakers might as well just burn it down. And now it's time to establish a new culture. And if you want to establish that new culture, you have to bring in younger players. Enough with believing and riding with these old guns, okay? I mean, it's obviously not working for you. You have to rebuild the whole team. The Lakers just need to go into a rebuild. They need to learn how to be patient. Patience is a virtue. They have to learn to sit back and understand that winning a championship doesn't always come overnight. So I think if they go into a rebuild, get some younger players on the roster, try to build through the draft, then they'll get better. Then they'll have that championship pedigree again. But it's going to take a while.
The biggest problem with the Lakers is the way they're constructed and in the style they try to play. They're playing a style where LeBron kicks it out to these guys, but they don't have no shooters on the team.
Right.
And that's what kills them. They keep trying to shoot from outside. LeBron needs to post up more. They need to get the ball down low to Davis. They're going to have to be more of an inside team than shooting the ball outside the way this team's constructed. But they won't. They just keep trying the same thing over and over. We'll see if Ham can get it turned around. But without making some big trades, I think it's going to be a a couple years before Lakers are in the mix.
Yeah, they're definitely not a threat this year, and nobody is afraid to play this Laker team.
Yeah. But World Series, we got World Series starting Friday. They've announced that Nola's going to start for the Phillies and Verlander's going to start for the Astros in Game 1. What's your thoughts on the World Series between the Phillies and the Astros?
Well, we talked a little bit about this on Monday, and I told you, if you remember correctly, I'm excited for this World Series. I think these two teams match up really well. But you got to look at the Astros, man. You got to look at how this team is built. Also, Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander gets better with age, unbelievably. It seems like the older he's gotten, the more dangerous he is on the mound. He's almost impossible to hit when he's on his game. And that's what makes him truly special. I just think this Astros team is going to be a little bit too much for the Phillies. This looks like a complete Astros team, one that cannot be beaten. But you can't take away anything that Aaron Nola has accomplished during this postseason. I mean, he's been on his game too, and he's been just as good as Verlander. So I mean, it's gonna be a great World Series. I can see this scoring 6. I could definitely see this series scoring 6 games. I think the matchup is great. The Phillies are hovering around 500 they were hovering around 500 for much of the summer. That changed, as they finished, on top in the National League, winning the pennant. That changed in October. I think a lot of people gave up on the Phillies, but the Phillies, they completed an amazing 5-game victory over San Diego in the National League Championship Series on Sunday. So it's been an incredible joyride for them. It's been a fall classic unlike any other. And the Houston Astros, to me, man, have been just a team that can't be beaten. I mean, they're undefeated in this postseason. They haven't lost a game. And they, finished off the Yankees in the demoralization in the American League Championship Series, and they earned their 4th appearance in the World Series in the past 6 seasons, which has been impressive. But this team might be better than the 2017 team, the team that everyone was outraged about because we all know they cheated, and that title is arguably tainted. But the Astros enter as heavy favorites, and it's hard for me to see them falling to an upstart team from the NL East. It's just hard. It's just hard for me to see that. But I mean, the starting duel of Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola is impressive. The lineup features sluggers like Harper, who has turned it on this postseason. He's been magical for the team. I don't know what has happened that has made him so good in the postseason, but he has clearly took his game to the next level. Then you have Kyle Schwarber, you have Reese Hoskins, you have TJ Rillamutu. Did I say his name right? If I didn't, please forgive me. But Harper has been a nightmare for opposing pitchers this postseason. He has 5 home runs, 10 runs, and a 1.3 a 1.351 OPS in 11 games. That's impressive stuff, And I mean, to me, the Phillies can hold their own. The roster, doesn't really lack any depth. The Astros have plenty of depth. So that's why I think this is going to be a great World Series. Because to me, these two teams, they match up really, really well.
Yeah, but, yeah, I think it's going to be a good World Series. I actually have the Phillies in 6. Only thing that worries me a little bit is kind of what John's talking about here is that the Phillies have had these days off because the Phillies are hot.
Right.
So we'll see if they come back off these days off hot. But you have Bryce Harper hitting over 400 in the playoffs. That's just unreal. And then Castellanos, that whole order just started coming alive in the playoffs. I think don't get me wrong, Houston's a real good team as well. I just get that kind of like that feeling of the Nationals a few years ago when they went on their run. I get that kind of feeling out of the Phillies. Just it's just like almost like it's their time. It seems like they're just got hot at the right time. We'll see if the days off affect it, but I like Houston in 6. I was kind of surprised that they decided to start Nola in game 1 instead of Wheeler. Usually it's been the other way, but I like the Nola Verlander matchup and then come back with Wheeler in game 2. They need to win at least one of these first 2 games in Houston before you go back home. And another thing that could come into play could be the weather too, because it could be cold in Philly, and so we'll see how that affects both teams as well. But I'm ready for it. I wish it would have started earlier than Friday. It kind of sucked having the whole week off. I think baseball messed that up, kind of marketing wise, because now nobody's really here talking about baseball for a week, waiting up to the World Series. Where if you just started maybe Tuesday or today, it would have kept maybe out there more on the TV and stuff. So I think they mismarketed that a little bit.
Yeah.
Damien says Phillies in 4. Glenn said Houston's going to go wire to wire like the 1990 Reds. Stat guy says Houston in 6 like I did. He says Wheeler will be the X factor. We'll get to that question here. In just
Phillies in 4 is an unpopular opinion. That's an unpopular prediction right there. That's a bold prediction.
Greg says, "What's up, my guys? Hey, how's it going, Greg? Thanks for tuning in." Greg says he has Houston winning in 6. That's same as me.
What's up, John? Thanks for watching.
And actually, John, that was kind of going into our next topic. You think Dodgers can sway Judge away from New York? Something has to change in New York. They have lost the division championship the last 5 times they've made it. One of my questions is I'm hearing that Judge might get a 10-year contract for $500 million. Judge is 30 years old. To me, you don't sign him to a 10-year contract
to stay in New York.
Well, wherever he gets it, that's what they're projecting. That's what one of the agents was projecting, that he's going to get $500 million for 10 years.
He'll be the highest paid.
$500 million.
He'll be the highest paid player.
Yeah, but to me, 10 years is too many. He's 30.
He's 30. Yes, he's in his age 30 season. But this is a guy who just came off a historic year. I
agree with John.
Played out of his mind.
I would go over 7 years.
Right, I wouldn't either. But he played out of his mind in his contract year. He put up some big monster numbers all season long. And unfortunately, the Yankees fall short to the Houston Astros in the playoffs. They didn't just fall short. They got swept in the first round.
And he didn't play well in the playoffs.
That's a lot of money for a guy.
He didn't play well in the playoffs either.
He didn't play well in the playoffs. No. When the Yankees needed him to show up and when they needed him to produce at the plate, he didn't. He went cold at the worst possible time. So do I give him a 10-year, $500 million contract? No. No, you would be crazy to do that. But a team would do that because they know that he can be a great asset to their team given how he performed during the regular season.
Well, Dustin's right. Giants have said they want Judge and they will not be outbid.
The Giants would do that. The Giants would do something like that because they're trying.
This is why I say you don't give him 10 years. This is exactly what Greg's talking about. You saw what happened to Pujols after he got his 10-year contract.
I mean, the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees. The Dodgers. I keep saying the Dodgers. The Giants.
You're not going to LA, Jonathan. We know you want them there at the Dodgers.
Look, the Giants would do something like that because the Giants are clearly desperate. They're a desperate team right now, and they're looking to add a slugger to their lineup. So they can compete against the Dodgers. Everyone in the NL West suddenly wants to compete against the Dodgers. They're tired of being the little brothers to the Dodgers. They're ready to, fight back now. So yes, the Giants will be in play for Aaron Judge. Now, will Aaron Judge go to the Bay Area? That's a question that remains to be seen. Would somebody give him that much money? Sure, they would.
John says 7-year, $213.5 million deal that Judge rejected before the season began. You think Angels trade Ohtani and could afford him? He says John says Giants and Dodgers would be top spots in his opinion.
For Shohei Ohtani?
No, for Judge. And yet Pujols still produced all 10 years. Cubs appear to be all in on Trey Turner and Bellinger.
Yes.
As stat guy.
Yes. The Cubs are interested in a shortstop. Trey Turner is one of the best shortstops available on the market, along with Carlos Correa. But I think the Cubs have shown interest already in possibly signing Trey Turner. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do sign Trey Turner. I've been saying it all along. That's where he's going to end up most likely this winter is with the Cubs. I see that as a potential landing spot for him, and I think the Cubs will make a big splash for him, and I think they would pull that deal off.
Dustin says Giants are not the little brothers, Jonathan. How many rings do the Giants have compared to the Dodgers last 10 years? 3-1.
I mean, that is fact. But in recent years, the Dodgers have owned the NL West. Like that really matters, though.
He said, like, it didn't get you guys nowhere.
Like it really matters for reals. It's like this season, right? This season they won 111 games, right? And they finished with the best run differential since 1939. And they still couldn't win a World Series title. And this was their year to do it. And they still couldn't win the title. They still fell short. They still got eliminated in the postseason. And they lost to the team that they owned during the regular season, the upstart Padres. And they lost in the first round. They lost in the division series. They couldn't even get to the championship series.
Yeah, Greg, from what I'm hearing, they're bringing back Boone.
Yeah, they are bringing back Boone because Boone is a yes man. Boone is a yes man. Boone has familiarity in New York because Boone once played there. But I don't care if he was the postseason hero, the ALCS hero in 2003. I don't care if he was a fan favorite in that city. I don't care if he's a yes man. You have to move on from him if you want to win baseball games. He is not the right manager for the job. I think the only way he goes if the Steinbrenners come to their senses and finally realize that it's time for a new voice in the front office. If Brian Cashman gets canned and he is relieved of his duties, then Aaron Boone obviously goes with him.
Yeah, I don't think Boone's going anywhere this year.
He's not.
Not for a couple of years. I don't.
He's going to return next
You
season.
can't blame
Dave
all of
Roberts
it.
is returning too.
You can't blame all of it on him this year either. The Yankees just didn't hit the ball. They couldn't hit the ball against the Astros. I mean, you can't score runs if you don't hit the ball, and they had trouble scoring runs in that series.
The Dodgers had the same problem.
Jared said he's surprised Roberts not fired yet as well. I kind of thought maybe Roberts would get fired, but he has two.
Yeah.
He says he has 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, well, he needs to throw his damn computer in the ocean and stop relying so much on analytics. I'm over
baseball's turned into, man. Every team's like that anymore.
I'm over it. He needs to stop flipping through his overstuffed 3-ring binder, and let your guy pitch. Keep him in a game. Let him go deeper into the innings. Don't pull him out because he's facing the order for a third time.
That's how all teams are anymore, man. I hate it to a point as well. I think analytics can be good and numbers are good to a point, but I think they try to make it. They put too much weight in them numbers a lot of times.
And that's what cost the Dodgers, and that's why they didn't reach the World Series.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm going to give Judge 10 years. I think I would try to sign to like a 5 or a 7 year deal with Judge.
Yes, I would go short term. I would go short term. But a team is going to be desperate enough to give him a 10-year, $500 million contract. I'm just interested to see which team does it.
Greg said Dave Roberts is the Brandon Staley of baseball.
That's fair. That's fair to say. You can put both of those guys. You could mention both of those guys in the same sentence. Yeah, so I like that. I'm with you, Greg. That's
speaking of football with the Brandon Staley, Eagles trade for defensive end Quinn from the Bears. I think that was a good move for them. Because they already have a stout defense, but I think that'd be another piece that could help their pass rush. So what do you think about the move?
The undefeated Eagles have taken a page out of the LA Rams book. They are going for it all this year. They went all in to trade for pass rusher Robert Quinn, and this makes them better. The only thing they lose is a 4th round pick because they exchanged a 4th round pick for Robert Quinn. This is a huge upgrade to their defense. Now Philadelphia and Chicago each announced the trade pending a physical later Wednesday, I believe. They're still pending a physical. I don't know if the physical is if it's done, but the deal is done. He's an Eagle, and the Eagles are making it real clear that they want to win this year.
Yeah,
that's what it tells me.
They're making it clear they're going all in.
They're going all in.
I like the move because it just strengthens already a good defense up even a little bit more.
Right.
And you didn't give up much to get them. I mean, you just gave up a 4th round pick, like you mentioned. So it's not like you had to give up 2 or 3 picks or a couple players or something to get them over there. So
it's not like you mortgage your future.
I agree. I think it's a real good move, but I worry about their offense a little bit more than I worry about their defense. But I think they're going to be right now. They're one of the favorites in the NFC. I mean, they have to be because of the record and how they've been playing. And we'll see how it all turns out. But I think it was a good move for them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was a great move for him. I know he's glad that he's off the sorry Bears, a 3-4 team. Now he has a chance to actually contend with a 6-0 Eagles team that's clearly reinforcing the NFL's 4th ranked defense with this pickup.
No, I agree. See, John says the Marlins hire Skip Shoemaker as new manager, replacing Mattingly. He's saying maybe Mattingly for the Yankees.
Yeah, a lot of Yankee fans are pushing for that. they're pushing for Mattingly to become the next manager.
Dustin said Eagles
I
are the
think he
team to
takes a
beat.
year off. I think he takes a year off, and if Boone doesn't work out next season, since they have decided to retain Aaron Boone, I think next season you might see Don Mattingly become the Yankees manager. Just like I've been saying with the Cowboys, I think if the Cowboys are winning though, that's the thing. So they're gonna most likely keep Mike McCarthy.
I think it depends on how the season ends.
Right. Because I was saying that Sean Payton could be knocking on the door.
I think you
And
might see Sean Payton end up with the Chargers.
really? You think he might? Well, he's here in LA now doing commentary. So, yeah.
Because he could go to a team that has a pretty good defense, a young, good quarterback. I could see him maybe ending up over there and then move on from Staley.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Brandon Staley's going to have a job too much longer.
Dustin said Eagles are the team to beat. Quinn is going to wreak havoc on that defense.
Yep. He's definitely going to wreak havoc.
John's saying he's hearing Mattingly to Boston. Thoughts on what the Panthers got for CMC, Carolina's? I think they got a good deal with what they got for McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I think if he wouldn't have had some of the injuries he had, they might have been able to get a first round pick thrown in there as well. But with the injuries that he's had, I think they did pretty good. And they're like you said, they're going to have a lot of draft picks coming up in this draft. So we'll see if they can make the right moves and get that team going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Whoever ends up being the new head coach.
Right. The for the Carolina Panthers, the fire sale was in full swing. We know now that they are clearly in a rebuild, and so I think they could have a bright future ahead of them depending on how they draft.
And Dustin says he's hearing Mike Sweeney or George Brett is going to interview for the Royals job.
I would love George Brent. I think he brings that fire. I like that guy's personality.
You're a Rams fan in this group, so I'll let you answer Jared's question here. If the Rams regression continues, who would you want gone more or want gone, Stafford or McVay?
I would say Stafford. Only because Stafford has not been with the Rams that long. And secondly, McVay led this team to a Super Bowl without Stafford at quarterback. Remember, Jared Goff was the quarterback until the Rams swapped the quarterback to get Stafford. So, I mean, I think I will stick with McVay. I think he's a good head coach. I think he has done a terrific job with the Rams. So I'm staying with Sean McVay if I had to choose.
No, I agree. You definitely would move Stafford. There's no way they're going to move McVay. I agree with Dustin. No way in hell they move McVay. If it came down to they were going to move somebody, it would be Stafford, and they would go with a different quarterback. But
I'll tell you this.
Done a hell of a job since he's been there. I know they don't look very good right now, but
I'll tell you this though: if the Rams were that stupid, another team would hire him in a heartbeat. He won't be standing in the unemployment line for too long. McVay will have a job most likely the next day.
Greg said, please don't let Sean Payton coach the Chargers. We love Brandon Staley as Chief fans.
I know you do, Greg. I know you do. Because a
lot
of
people O'Connell and Hill this
year. The Raiders are going to have a much better start to their seasons, and it has turned out to be very inferior for both teams.
McVay has lost O'Connell and Hill this year. He has an entirely new offensive staff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Jared says exactly. And he wouldn't even be unemployed for 8 hours if let go. Oh no, he'd have a job as soon as he got let go.
Oh yeah, he would. He would be like Luke Walton. Like after the Lakers fired him, the Kings hired him the next day.
John says, any upsets you think this week? Giants over Seahawks, Bears over Dallas.
I think we'll cover more of that on Friday, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll touch more on that on Friday, John.
Yeah, we usually give our picks for every game.
Yeah, we usually give our picks on Fridays.
But I do think there's a chance. Real quick, I do think there's a chance that I do kind of like the Giants over the Seahawks. I don't know. There's just something about the way Dayball has that team playing right now.
Yeah, definitely Dallas over the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears are going to be able to beat Dallas.
I
I agree,
so
Dustin. The Giants wouldn't be a big upset.
So
Giants are 6-1.
I feel so bad for Justin Fields. I feel horribly bad for him because I think that defense is just going to swallow him up.
Patriots are going to start Mac Jones this week.
Okay, that's good. They need to.
You think they need to? So, my question was going to be: are they making the right move starting Jones over Zappy this week after you pulled Jones out during the second quarter, didn't play him the rest of the game? What do you think? This is a smart move?
I think I'm guessing it's a smart move. You know,
I'm guessing it's a smart move.
I'm guessing now it's a smart move. I don't know what Bill Belichick is. I really don't know what Bill Belichick is thinking. I don't.
I think I'll stick with Zappy. The offense has looked better when he's been in there than what it has with Jones. I don't know if Jones is just having trouble with the new offensive coordinators with Patricia and Judge as the quarterback coach. I don't know if he's having problems with them, but they're looking a lot more rhythm when Zappy is in there. So to me, I think they're making a mistake, but especially after watching that game the other night. They were getting beat 10-0. That Zappy came in the game, boom, they're ahead. I know they ended up losing the game, but at least they were more. Their offense looked a lot more competitive. So I think I would have stayed with Zappy.
Yeah, he started 2 games, won both. Performed at a level which created questions over whether he should become the starting quarterback. So yeah, you do have a good point there. I guess I can agree in a way. I really haven't seen much Patriots football this season, to be quite honest with you. And I knew Mac Jones was Bill Belichick's guy for a minute there, but then, like you said, Zappy was playing out of his mind, So yeah. I mean, if you do bench him, that can offset things for the Patriots moving forward, and you don't want to offset things. You want to continue to win football games, and you already established that rhythm. You kind of want to maintain that moving forward. So sometimes when you switch quarterbacks, it's not always a good idea, because what it does, it ends up backfiring, and then you start losing games, and I mean that's not good for your team.
Well, like Dustin says, the Patriots offense is averaging 10 more points per game.
Mm-hmm.
With Zappy and nearly 123 more yards. So it's just
right.
I don't know. To me, I would be starting as Zappy.
But then what if Mac Jones, because he knows now that he's competing for his job, what if Mac Jones go out there and is a completely different quarterback, one that's producing more, one that's making the plays, that's throwing it down the field? I mean, that's a fair argument too, right?
Yeah, but the problem is Jones hasn't done that this season.
Yeah, that is a problem, and he hasn't done it consistently, and he hasn't looked like that quarterback that can, lead this offense every week.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen, Zappy's looked better.
Yeah.
Greg does pose a good question. If Belichick gets the playoffs with Zappi, then what do you do with Mac Jones going forward? Uh, they'd have to try to move him.
Right. Because I don't think he's going to want to be a backup to Zappi.
No, you trade him.
Yeah. You trade him and get something for him. Absolutely.
You think Heineke can save the Commanders?
Nah, I don't think anybody can save the Commanders at this point. I don't even think Dan Snyder can save his own team. Dan Snyder should fire himself.
I just don't think the Commanders' defense is playing up to the way a lot of people expected. I think Heineke does fit that team for some reason better than the guys they've been trying, but they could tighten that defense up. I think they'd be all right. But I just don't see.
Then you have the head coach pointing fingers at Carson Wentz and calling him out.
Yeah.
For their horrible season.
Oh, the Colts bench Matt Ryan and are starting Sam Ellinger.
Hey, they did shock the hell out of the Packers though. They beat the Packers. They embarrassed the Packers. So I mean, hey, in the NFL, it's any given Sunday.
Yeah, and no, Dustin, that's what I was saying. Heineke has played well for the Commanders. I like the way Heineke has played, and that's what I was saying. If that defense was playing a little bit better, I think they could they'd be all right. But I just don't trust their defense. But no, I think Heineke. To me, they should have not even traded for Wentz and went with Heineke this season. But
yeah. Well, I think Juan Rivera
says trading Mac Jones to the Colts or Texans. They can use a QB. You can trade him to the Texans, but I don't want. John says Colts need to bench Ryan 2 games prior. Ellinger. No, I didn't think it would happen this early in the season. We'd actually was talking about it on the afternoon show on Monday when it happened, and we were talking about that. I thought once they got if they kept losing it, they'd probably switch. Once maybe they got out of contention, and then boom, it was announced that they went ahead and decided to do it. I'm glad we're going to see what Ellinger has because I think Ellinger could end up being a pretty good guy for us. But if not, at least we can see what we have. He starts the rest of the season and sees we get to see what we have. And if he ain't the guy or guy, then we can go draft a guy or try to figure out something. But at least we're finally going to see what he has. I've heard good things about him. He's looked good. He looked good in the preseason, which that's preseason. But I'm excited for Sunday to see what he looks like because John is right. He has a strong arm and he's accurate. I'm hoping that this was hoping it was a smart move and that we can get to winning some games.
And that was the quarterback that came out of Texas, right? I remember him playing for the Longhorns.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he's been with the Colts for I think this is the 3rd season, but he's not got to play in the regular season. So and all you ever hear is good things about him. So I think it's going to be. I'm hoping that maybe we'll find our guy, and if not, at least we know that he's not the guy, and we can move into whatever direction we need to move in, trying to find a quarterback.
Do you think Matt Ryan ever lived up to the nickname Matty Ice?
I mean, there was years that he was. He had
there
some
was
good
years that he was good, right? You're right.
Yeah, our offensive line didn't help matters either, and with some injuries and stuff, our offensive line didn't help things. But he just turned the ball over too much. But I don't think if our offensive line would have protected him more, I think he might have been all right. But he can't move very well, so he's pretty stationary back there. So I'm hoping that having a younger guy in there who can also run as well, I think will really help us.
Yeah, we'll see because Ellinger uh, is a second-year quarterback who's never thrown a regular season pass. He will get that chance now as he takes the reins. And Ryan, for the first time in his career, get this, for the first time in his career, will not be the starting quarterback.
And then John says after the Super Bowl meltdown, he had the Brady curse and hasn't been right ever since. And that's
Yep,
pretty much right. He hasn't played very well ever since that happened.
right. No, he hasn't. And I think that was his MVP season, right?
It might have been.
That might have
Uh,
been, yeah.
Jared said, "Should Rodgers really call it a career after this season?" I think he's if
Yes.
unless he sees some big changes being made in Green Bay, I think he's going to.
Oh no, he looks done. Like
I think he's going.
he looks mentally I've been saying this too. He looks mentally and physically drained. He is completely over football. You can tell by his body language. You can tell by his exasperating look, the frustration. He's out there rolling his eyes. It's all bad for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not used to losing. I don't see him sticking around in Green Bay for much longer. I don't even think Green Bay being a publicly owned team. I don't even think they know what their future is going to look like. I heard today that they are seeking a wide receiver, that they're desperately looking to trade for a wide receiver to give Aaron Rodgers another weapon, another go-to guy. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, man, it's been a rough start to the season, and I just think if this continues, he's not gonna stay around. He's gonna end up retiring, and I think he's kind of burnt out from football. He more than anything, he's frustrated with the losses and the fact that he has no wide receiver that he could really trust in, or a wide receiver that he can believe in. Because a lot of his wide receivers, they just don't catch the football. They drop a lot of passes.
No, I agree with you. Green Bay can't afford a wide receiver. Yeah, that's their other problem. All right, Judge, you got anything else before we get ready to call tonight?
I'm tired of Kanye West. I know this is not sports related, but I am sick and tired of Kanye West. And people, in this country of ours, they they are entertained by utter stupidity. You know, whatever the man says, everyone, feeds into it, and that's what he wants you to do. He's an attention seeker. He wants your attention. Stop giving the guy so much attention. Don't give him your uninvited attention. That's the problem. That's why he does the things he does, because he knows he's going to get a reaction. Those are my final thoughts.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room, at the All Sports All Plays Network, and at the Sports Judge, all on YouTube. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. We
greatly appreciate that. You can find me tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern with the stat guy Dustin Reese, who's been in the comment section on our baseball show Around the Bases, 9 a.m. Eastern. At Gonzo on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the All Sports All Plays Network as well. Then in the afternoon blitz at 1 p.m. Eastern on the ASAP Sports Network. Come join us for that. It's always been a pretty good time on the afternoon show. Jay McLovin's been joining me, Mike Hughes, Dustin's been on some, so usually a pretty good cast of characters on there. And then tomorrow, also I got a big interview with the pro wrestler tomorrow. Blake Money Wright will be joining me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. He's actually going to wrestle Heath Slater that used to be in WWE over the weekend. So we'll talk to him about that and some of his other big matches he has coming up. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Judge, did I leave anything out?
No, you got it all.
All right.
You said all that needed to be said.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. We will see you guys on Friday. We'll give out our picks for every NFL game Friday. We'll talk some college football on Friday as well. Maybe we'll get into some NBA on Friday as well, because we really didn't talk a whole lot of NBA tonight. We talked the Lakers a little bit, and that's about it. We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you guys on Friday.
Peace out, fam.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.